Great. So thank you for having me. And yeah, nice greetings from Berlin to Davos. I'm very sorry that I cannot make it, but I'm happy to contribute remotely now. So my talk today is about the crypto trends, where I do think that these kind of have the potential within the next 12 to 24 months to create a hype. So really just the hot things, not the long-term crypto topics. And in my second part of the talk, I would like to give you some investment ideas, how to invest into the space. And yeah, I would like to start with my first potential crypto trend in the next 12 to 24 months. And that's the decentralized autonomous organizations. And maybe you think that's not new. We already have DAOs. That's like a thing from 2016 already, when we saw the DAO as an investment fund vehicle. But I think this concept is developing so fast with very new kind of applications and things you can organize via a DAO. So in general, a DAO is something where people with the same ideas, with the same interest, are coming together to fulfill their ideas, and that without a hierarchy, without a central actor in the middle like a boss or CEO. And this kind of DAO, I think we can apply on many use cases. And when we look back to the 19th century, for example, we already saw that on a different level with the farmers. So the social reformer Friedrich Wilhelm Raiffeisen created so-called Genossenschaften or cooperatives, where farmers could come together and negotiate, for example, with banks to get better conditions, to be stronger as a community. And later on we saw the Raiffeisen Volksbanken as a consequence. And I think that this kind of organizing work, that is something we need right now, because most of us don't work as farmers, but many of us are working as digital freelancers. We are working remotely from the globe, and we need these kind of DAOs to coordinate work and to get paid, especially when we talk about open source projects, when we talk about blockchain protocols, where you can be part of this new economic model. And therefore we need new decentralized constructions like DAOs. And it's also kind of great for member clubs. I mean, everyone has heard about Bored Ape Yacht Club. I'm not a big fan of it, honestly, but I think this is also a nice application. Then, for example, we have Vita or Vita DAO. It's nice for research projects, for participating on the success of different outcomes of research projects. For example, longevity is a big topic here, where you have an NFT, for example, and with this NFT, this special kind of NFT, which is more an intellectual property right, you have access to this information, or to the value creation via these projects. Or you can go to Gitcoin. Gitcoin, for example, is what I talked about, a platform, decentralized one, where you can have a freelance platform. So I think that these are many potential hype topics in the next 12 to 24 months. And when we have a look how many DAOs we have already now and how many smart people working in that sphere, I'm quite optimistic to see some more results in the next month. So this is just a little screenshot. You don't need to read it. That's just to show you how many projects we have. And I think that's not all, definitely. So even most of them will fail. In the end, there's so much innovation in that space and so much money and smart people that I'm quite optimistic. The second big trend topic for me personally in the next month are lifestyle NFT products, digital, physical, or phygital fashion. So what I mean with phygital, that's the new term. Like, we have all physical clothes, but of course we see more and more digital clothes. And when we have both, we can talk about phygital. And that's super interesting, because we already see that there are major brands who are trying to go into the space. Like 30% of the top 100 brands have already Web3 projects, most of them with NFTs. And for them, it's very attractive due to the, also value creation from a revenue perspective, because these digital clothes, you have a big secondary market in perspective, and you can create a new customer relationship, customer loyalty programs are an option, airdrops. So for example, if someone buys a Nike sneaker, and the physical one maybe, and to the physical Nike sneaker, you get an NFT, you receive an NFT. This NFT can give you like different kinds of loyalty programs of you can create a community, for example. We have you can exchange your ideas, especially in social media. You can have some Instagram filters, for example, where you can wear your clothes, or in the metaverse. We have already seen that in the metaverse as well from the big brands. So there are many opportunities, and maybe most of you think that's complete bullshit. Sorry to say that, but I think most people don't need digital clothes right now. But what we do see is that there's a demand from the Generation Z, that more and more young people come, buy these things. And Morgan Stanley, the investment bank, sees the digital fashion market by about $50 billion in 2030, because we want to show our status. Like we show our status today with our brands we're wearing or the car we are driving. But in the future, we want to show our status as well in the digital space. And I think with the Generation Z and social media, there can be enormous dynamic when we see how big the projects are already today. And to give you some example, you see here an NFT project from Tiffany & Co. Quite expensive, this CryptoPunks thing. And then you see like from Adidas a screenshot. It's from eBay Kleinanzeigen, where someone is selling his Adidas hoodie. And you can see also there's a public key, like you know it from your Bitcoin key address. And when you buy this hoodie, you have an NFT as well, and you have access to the like metaverse item, for example, in Sandbox or in a Bored Ape Yacht Club. So there are many opportunities. Like these brands are playing this game already today, and it makes totally sense when we look at the numbers. So what you see here are the crypto kicks from Nike and from Artifact. So I forgot that's to tell you. The projects on the right side, you can see these are investment examples. So Luxo, for example, is a blockchain, especially for lifestyle products. Then you see Nike and Adidas, of course, is the big brands where you can buy the stock, and Artifact, which is already belonging to Nike, but they have also a token and they are creating this digital item. So going back to the numbers, with these Nike shoes, they are purely digital. So it's not a phygital thing. There were revenues about $93 million, which is not so bad, I think. But the beauty comes in when we look at the secondary market transaction via OpenSea, for example, the NFT marketplace you may know. And there, Nike made more revenue over the trading thing than with the first by selling those shoes. So this is super attractive, and I think we are right now above $200 million revenue, which is not so bad for a virtual product. We have no production cost from a physical point of view. So I think they will, continue this kind of, and we see other big brands like Dolce & Gabbana, Gucci from the luxury field, Porsche, for example, but other brands having NFT projects, Budweiser, the beer brand, Time, the magazine, Burger King, McDonald's, so many others. And I think this is a power that will succeed. And I have many more topics like with a short-term potential, but I don't have the time to go into detail. Nevertheless, I think the next three are also interesting. Blockchain gaming. Right now, we have the problem that blockchain gaming, the games aren't funny. You don't want to spend time playing blockchain games. That's a big problem. It's not sustainable, like we saw at Axie Infinity. But I'm optimistic that in the next 1 to 2 years, we see a new generation of blockchain games that are creating a sustainable community, that are making fun. I just give you some examples here. But it's not the metaverse, I think. So I think metaverse, it needs much more time. First, we have to solve the blockchain gaming thing, and then we can have a sustainable commercial development, the metaverse. I'm quite skeptical when it comes to that. Then regenerative finance is a big thing. I mean, everyone is talking about ESG, everything has to be sustainable. And I think blockchain technology offers many nice applications. Also in the near term, when we look on tokenization, for example, of carbon credits. We all know that carbon credit trading will be a big thing in the future. It's growing. And I think that, yeah, there are companies who are providing nice services when it comes to that. And last but not least, I think decentralized social media is also something kind of exciting. We saw the major discussions when Elon Musk bought Twitter, for example, and I think many of us are not happy how the centralization of power is working right now in the Web 2 by Meta and other big Web 2 players. And I think that we have the chance maybe to see some little hypes around the topic decentralized social, especially when we talk about social tokens, so the tokenization of like a person, yourself, or a group, maybe a collective. That is super interesting. But yeah, let's see. And now I would like to come to the second part of my presentation. It's about the general investment ideas. And I would like to start with the nice and wonderful blockchain hype cycle from Gartner. I'm a big fan. I think most will know Gartner Hype Cycle. It's a technology company that tries to figure out to analyze where a technology is or stands right now in perspective from their establishment, from their maturity, and they do it with 3D printing and I don't know, every kind of technology, and as well with blockchain. So we see here's a screenshot of July 2022. So we have to think a little bit further from this kind of screenshot. But what we do see, and that's very interesting from an investment standpoint, is that most applications right now, tokenizations, stable coins, DeFi, smart contracts, and so on, they are on their way down. So what you see at the top, that's the hype, where the expectations were too high. Now we are on our way down to earth, let's say. And that's super important, because what we have to do is to find the point where there's no, let's say, trust or hope, maybe, or from just a few people, just hope, who are working in the blockchain scene, maybe, that see that there's a development, who see that there's a nice progress. And I think we do have this kind of progress. And I think many of them are, yeah, it's a disillusionment downside, but we will see some more commercial establishment in the next months, I think. Blockchain wallets, for example, are quite more far away. Metaverse itself, as you can see, is at the very beginning. So that's why I'm also more pessimistic about the metaverse. It takes more than 10 years. When we look at Gartner, I mean, it's just also, they can be wrong, of course, but I think that, yeah, there are other things that are more interesting right now. Yeah, different idea is about how to find the needle in the haystack. So there are so many cryptocurrencies out there, and the question is always how to find the right project. And I think, or I like the venture capital approach. Like, for example, Pantera, it's a crypto VC, and they're investing in many projects. Some of them you can see here. And honestly, I don't know if these projects are still there or if they failed already. I don't have a clue. But they also invested into Coinbase. And we know that Coinbase is the biggest US cryptocurrency broker, and reached a valuation in 2021 above 60 billion. So 2 times more than Deutsche Bank at this time. And yeah, when you achieve to be one of the first investors, when you're early, then I think this venture capital approach can make a lot of money. But therefore, of course, you have to do some due diligence. You have to look at some very important factors. And the first thing I always look at is the team, it's the management. So do they have a track record? Because there is still a lot of scam out there. And it's super important for me if I can trust the management team. Then always look at the shareholder structure or the token distribution. So if 90% of all token, I mean, if one CEO owns 90% of the token, then it's not decentralized, then I think it will fail. Tokenomics, of course. So is there a real use case for the token? What's with the inflation model? What's with the supply? Is it sustainable? These are very important aspects. The white paper, of course, regulatory viability. So the best use case doesn't make sense if the regulator is shutting me down. And even with decentralized projects or DeFi projects, we saw that already, like Uniswap, for example, how hard it is for them, or that they have some, let's say, negotiations with the regulator. And last but not least, of course, the use case, does it make sense? Is there money to get? And my predictions are, I mean, it's just my personal point of view, but I think that from over 20,000 cryptocurrencies right now, that 99% will fail. So only 1% will succeed. When we look at the top 100 cryptocurrencies due to market capitalization, I think that about like 25% will succeed, but still, there are many cryptocurrencies that will fail. With Bitcoin and Ethereum, I see it a little bit different. Bitcoin, for me, doesn't have such a competition. I mean, Bitcoin doesn't need to be like smart contract protocols in a competitive way like Ethereum that is with other protocols, but still there's 2%, in my opinion, 2% fail opportunity. Ethereum, 90%, I think will succeed. It's the biggest network, most developers are there, but yeah, we will never know. There are many challenges for all of these protocols. And then a different approach to invest into cryptocurrency projects is to invest into the infrastructure. Because when we think back to the gold rush in the 19th century, just a few people found some gold and became rich, but definitely some of the infrastructure providers, so the people who had the tools to dig for gold, or the accommodation also. So I think the same thing we can have in the cryptocurrency space with infrastructure providers like exchanges. So here we see some public companies like Coinbase, for example, or Block or PayPal, and they don't care about projects that are failing. They just care about that there's enough volume, enough transaction volume. That's what matters, and not the projects. So then you can invest, of course, into the stocks, or you go directly to the layer one blockchains like Ethereum, the biggest one, of course, or you go for industry blockchains like Flow, because I think that the future, that there will be many blockchains for specific industries. And Flow, for example, is just an option for NFT. Binance, of course, is the biggest exchange. It's not they're not a public company, but they have a token, they are a cryptocurrency, a blockchain, so you can also invest into Binance then. And yeah, last but not least, I would like to give you a little market outlook, what I think the next month will bring with look on the market situation, on the prices of Bitcoin and Co. On the one hand, I have the pro side, and on the right, the contra side. And I think what's positive is that most negative news, I think we have already seen. I mean, the last year was a catastrophe. So many horrible things happened, from FTX to Terra Luna to Celsius. We saw the switch in interest rate, of course, the monetary policy. It's like very crucial. And I think most of these things are priced in, but like the last days, we see there are also new things that are coming up, which you cannot believe that this is happening right now. But it's the regulatory aspect, or the banks. And then the hash rate. So the technical data is quite good. So there's nothing to worry about, I think. It's very strong, the network, the Bitcoin network especially. We see more and more regulated products from like ETPs, ETFs, but also like from neobanks like N26, for example, offering cryptocurrency trading with Bitpanda, and also other banks that are preparing for token infrastructures. Like every big bank in Germany right now is building a token infrastructure. Of course, they say it's not for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is stupid. It's only for digital securities. But honestly, I don't believe that, because we see many kind of new security things that are happening in the digital space. For example, a few days ago, Siemens gave out a bond, over $60 million bond, on a public blockchain. Of course, you can say there are so many intransparent different or things where middlemen have been included, but still they used Polygon blockchain, a public blockchain. And when the bankers realize that they are using public blockchains for securities, they cannot argue that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are fraud, what they're doing right now. So this is a tokenization from from securities. I mean, that's a very big thing. And in Germany, we already have a law for that. We have the elektronische Wertpapiergesetz. And we've seen many new developments there. So I'm super optimistic when it comes to that. Of course, as well, the number of blockchain developers is still growing. The prices may go down, but the number of blockchain developers grows. And that's one of the most important things. And of course, the crypto education is growing as well, not super fast maybe right now, because many people are scared from about the crypto scene, but yeah, it's still growing. And when you're a Bitcoin fan, of course, you're a fan of scarcity. And when we look at the model, the inflation model, it's quite a good thing. Like when Bitcoin decreases in the amount, this is the new Bitcoin that are coming into the space, it's limited through the halving next time. So there's a further reduction of Bitcoin, of new Bitcoins. And I think that's also very positive. And in general, the crypto sector becomes more sustainable, which is super important because the regulators argue very often that this is a big problem. This is something why in the European Union, for example, we had talks about a proof of work ban. I mean, I hope it will not come, and the markets in crypto asset regulation don't see this right now. But I see still the fear. I'm still feared that we will see some new laws in the future, some new regulatory things that lead to an over-regulation, especially to a proof of work ban, maybe. That's one of the biggest contra things I see, the biggest dangers for the whole sector right now. Let's look to the US. It's also super radical what we see right now from the SEC, from other agencies in the US, how they fight against crypto. That's something right now, of course, with the banking scandal, you can say, with Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate, Signature Bank. That's huge what's happening right there. I don't know what will be the outcome, honestly, but it's a big danger what we see, that the money on ramp for the cryptocurrency companies, that they have a big problem if they don't find a bank where they can put their money on. So I'm very scared about that. And then of course there's always a negative macro development. Maybe we see even higher interest rates when we cannot keep the inflation down. Maybe there are some black swan events, like always, we don't know about it. So it's the uncertainty right now for me is super high, but still there are many more positive factors for me in the long term than on the short term. So that's my conclusion here, and then I come to an end. I thank you very much. So if you're interested in more of our content, of course, it's only German speaking, like our monthly magazine, our podcast, or my book, or our app without advertisement. So then, just visit us at BTC-Echo. And I know I'm open to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
That's fantastic. Great, thank you very much. Could you say 2-3 words about BTC-Echo? We know it, but maybe we know not enough about BTC-Echo.
For sure. So BTC-Echo were founded in 2014, so a long time ago for the cryptocurrency space. And we are the largest German-speaking magazine. With everything that is related to blockchain, crypto, Bitcoin. So from Bitcoin itself to NFTs to DeFi to, digital euro, digital US dollar, digital security. So everything that has a relation to blockchain.
That's fantastic. So you have quite a reputation to lose. I mean, these are, it's 100 years in blockchain terms, kind of.
I feel like that. Yeah.
Nevertheless, I would like to open discussion here. I have a micro that works and he can ask questions. I'm sure you have some questions. Maybe we can turn to slide 12, where you have these advantages and risk. I would wonder if you agree on that or if you see it differently. Yes, that's the right one.
I have a question.
Stefan, that's Stefan Kübler.
What does it take these days for BTC-Echo to get readers? How do you attract them? What does it take for a product that people value?
I mean, sure, since 2022, we see that many people step down, but that's the difference to the bear market. Let's say in 2018 and 2019, there is still a big community. So there are many people, readers that read us for a long time and they believe in the topic. But honestly, it's very hard to get new readers. It's very hard. So of course, you have to give orientation. The people are scared. They don't know what is happening. That's what we are trying to do, to give orientation, to talk to experts, to other experts, to do good journalism, let's say, via podcasts and different kind of channels. So only online articles isn't working. Today, the media needs to be like on social media channels, even print. Print is good. And doing podcasts, so it's a mix. It's a mix of different formats and content models. But yeah, honestly, it's hard to gain new news. It's more like holding them. That's what we're doing right now.
Hi Sven, it's Kilo Schmitz from Omaha. In your pro list, there are only, for my opinion, some impacts or things coming out of the whole market, but they're, in my opinion, missing the core values of blockchain and also Bitcoin. That means the transparency, the decentralization, that this is a leading technology which will survive. So why you left it out of your list? Is there any reason for that?
I'm sure you're absolutely right. For me, it's more like that's an argumentation that is always correct, of course. It's the basis of the whole technology, as you mentioned. And what I try to do is just to give some short-term or time-critical arguments pro and contra. And what you mentioned is like something that's the basis for me, of course. Well, I do this here, that's my job. But the other things are more like an outlook for the next month. That's what I meant with this. But yeah, you're correct, of course. These values of blockchain, let's say, they are getting more and more important right now when we see things happening right now.
Are you using Lightning paywalls for your products? And if not, why not?
You can pay with Bitcoin, not Lightning. And honestly, we had many talks in the past about that. No one uses this, honestly. They demand it. They ask us, hey, our community, why you don't have Bitcoin? We have Bitcoin. You can pay with Bitcoin, but no one uses this. That's a problem. So if you want more Bitcoin, more Lightning, then use it.
Are you happy with the answer?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Obviously,
yeah.
because because people really Bitcoin.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.